Hey everyone. So a few people have had a few common issues doing their shows on Audacity, so I thought I'd do a wee video today to help out with that. One of the most common problems for people seems to be the process of importing WMA files into Audacity. That's the type of file that your computer will create when you rip music off a CD, particularly if you have a Windows computer. And I'll also show you how to import tracks into Audacity. People seem to be getting a bit maybe overwhelmed with that one. Do you import all the tracks at once? That can be a bit of a headache. So we'll look at that today. So first thing we're going to look at is how to import WMAs. Okay, so I'm on my computer here and I've got Audacity open. Is this still recording? Yes. So if I go File and Import Audio. Now, I've picked this particular folder of music because it was ripped off a CD and all these files are WMA files. You can see that there. Okay, so I'll double click on this. Now, here's the error message. Audacity attempted to use FFmpeg to import an audio file, but the libraries were not found. To use FFmpeg import, go to Edit Preferences Libraries to download or locate these libraries. So, click OK. And that's okay too. Click on File, Edit Preferences, and you click on Library. So for me, it's selected already, but if it's not for you, just click down here to Libraries. And we want to find it, so we want to click on Download first of all, actually. Now, there's a few links you can click here, and it does start to get a bit confusing, so just do make sure you read it. So see the FFmpeg installation. So I'm going to maximize this window. It does take a bit of looking around for it, to be honest. For full instructions, see this. Okay. I go to the external FFmpeg download page. Okay. You can have a read through this if you want. You probably don't need to. It's just standard website stuff. Okay, and there's this guy here. So about halfway down the page, it says FFmpeg for Windows and latest Audacity version. So we're just going to click on that. And that should automatically download. So we can see that's downloading there. Okay. So this is for the latest version of Audacity. Some people are having problems with if they've got an older computer and it's being a bit funny to Audacity. I haven't quite worked out the problem with the solution to that, because my laptop's, not to brag, my laptop's not that old, so mine doesn't have that problem, so it's kind of hard to work it out. But for just now, I'm just presuming you're using the newest version. So it's downloading here, it takes a few moments. What you can do, see if you right click on this, we download here, and go into Show in Folder. Still downloading just now, and just refresh this. Okay, and then go to, so we've got this here, so this is in our downloads folder. We right click on this and click on Extract All, and we can, if you can choose to extract it somewhere else. If you're not too sure what you're doing, just extracting it where it is probably fine. What I would recommend doing though is clicking over this, selecting it, okay, right click and copy. We're going to need this later, and then click on Extract. Okay, done. So these are all the things that we need. In fact, I'm going to click on this and copy this. Okay, so that's all the stuff that we're going to need, and we go back into Audacity and we're going to tell it to, what we're doing just now is we're telling Audacity this is where those wee files that you're looking for are. Okay, so click on Locate. Now in this particular instance it's automatically detected them, so we can just click yes. And now what I'm going to do here is paste what I've just copied. So if I right click and click on paste and then click on OK, and you can see there that it's kind of got a series of numbers and letters here, so that means it's found it, which is great. Now I can go to File, Import Audio, and that song that I was struggling with is now working.
Left you in the deep.
It's quite loud, that melted my ears a little bit. Cool, so we've imported a track from a CD. Okay, so that's that. Now, some people are, well, a big chunk of you are daytime presenters. So we have sent out an email in the last few weeks with like a link to all the tunes that are in the current playlist. If you search through your emails for an email called, if you search for daytime guidelines, you'll find it. Okay, so I've got this open already in the programming account. So here it is here. So it should, programming guidelines is the subject title, but down here, especially if you're a daytime presenter, we've got a link to all the stuff there, and also if you're a specialist, there's some guides in there. Some of the key things that are in there are, don't speculate about COVID-19, for example. Radio stations up and down the country have been getting into trouble for that. And we're asking all presenters to do, well, if you've got an hour-long show, make it 58 minutes. Or if you've got a 2-hour-long show, ordinarily, it'd be an hour and 58 minutes. And that's just because the last 2 minutes of every show we've been putting in broadcast bulletins. No, not broadcast bulletins, community announcements is what I meant to say. And news and adverts and that sort of stuff. So please do remember that. Otherwise, we will just chop out your last song and do it anyway. So I'm going to click into daytime guidelines. Okay. Now, please do have a read over all this, because I've just very quickly skimmed over some of the stuff to mention and to not mention, but it is just worth having a read over it and keeping yourself right. And we can download playlist tunes from this link here. So if we just click on it, and then it comes up like that. Okay, now we've got featured artist, jingles, mainstream tracks, presenter picks, Scottish and specialist tracks, up and coming tracks. I am going to, which one of these is the smallest, I wonder? Up and coming tracks is usually fairly small. Yeah, this'll do. I'm going to, no, in fact, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to click on 5 tunes that I want to download. So I can do that by clicking on them. And then I can hold down Control and then click others, like this. So you see how it selected them while I've clicked along. And I'll do the same again. Some great microphone technique by me there. And I'm going to right click on any one of these, click download. See down here, it says preparing download. I'm just checking this is still recording. Okay. It will take a bit of time to think about it. Now, when it says leave site, it's basically just going to trigger the download. So actually we want to click on leave. Okay, and then I'm going to click onto this, and I'm going to click up a folder. So you can see it's still in a zipped folder, which means we probably won't be able to access it all at one go. So I'm going to right click on this, click on extract all again, extract. Okay. Now, if I go back into Audacity, I'm going to go File, Import Audio. I'm going to find what I've just downloaded. So that was in my downloads folder. Get the right one here and here. Now, if you're more sensible than I, then you would have renamed this to playlist tracks or something, but I didn't. So just to go back a step, we've just found this. So this is the folder with the tunes in it. You might want to rename this to be, I don't know, playlist. Yep. Okay. So double click into playlist tracks here. Now I'm going to import all these at once. So to do that, there's a few different things I can do. I can press Control and A on the keyboard, and that will select all of these. Or just like before, if I click and then hold down Control, I can pick one at a time. Or so on, and then click Open. Okay, so we've got something that looks a bit overwhelming. We've got these 4 tracks and suddenly your screen looks very busy. So what we can do just now, just because if I play this all at once, well, I'm not going to because it'll melt my eardrums. It's going to be really loud. But I'm going to click on mute at the left here, so that mutes that Austin Miller tune. I'm going to mute this, so that mutes this Cryptic Culture tune. You can see these tracks have gone grey as I've done that. Same for Garlands, mute that. Lura, if I can see that right there, yeah, good. And then I think there's a Megan Black tune as well, so I mute that too. So that's, I'm not going to have everything playing at once, so I'm not going to feel overwhelmed just now. I'm going to create a new track. Now, that should be down at the bottom. Good, now, either you've recorded your speech on maybe your phone, maybe you've recorded speech on if you've got your own microphone, for example. So to bring that audio in, you would just click on File, Import. I don't have any voiceovers recorded, so I'm not going to do this step, but I'm just going to record something new just now. Hello, I am on Cam Glen Radio and I am a presenter, blah de blah de blah de blah. Okay, I might want to speak and introduce the first song. Let's see, so if I play this back. Hello, I am on Cam Glen Radio and I am a presenter, blah de blah de blah de blah. Okay, let's just pretend one of those blah de blahs was me introducing a song. So if I use my zoom in tool, there's a bit of a space in there. And I'm going to click on edit and then cut. And then I'm going to move, let's say that blah de blah de blah was me introducing this Megan Black tune. So if I can drag it and just bring it over a little bit. So they're not going to be on the same track. So this is a stereo track here, this is a mono track. They're not going to be in the same tracks. We don't need them to be. So if I unmute Megan Black and then play from here, blah de blah de blah de blah. Okay, so again, pretend that blah de blah was me introducing the song. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to zoom back out again. So remember to zoom out, we've got the zoom tool, the magnifying glass, and we need to hold the control key, or is it the alt key? No, it's a left click, sorry. So click on that again, left click out a little bit. This is the end of the Megan Black song over here. So I'm going to click the selector tool, I'm going to paste in the rest of the audio. So edit, paste, okay, and that's that tiny wee bit of speech there. You can also zoom in by pressing Control and 1, which I find a bit easier sometimes. So this is the end of the Megan Black song. Okay, I might want to, so that's the chat I was doing earlier. It's time for time. 5 minutes. And then, so let's listen to this and introduce the first. Okay, so I've just said introduce the first track, so why don't I bring this over? Now, you can make the tracks smaller by clicking at the bottom of them. See how my mouse has changed from a sort of normal pointer to this sort of sizing tool, so I can just click that and drag it up. It just becomes a little bit less overwhelming for the screen, so I'm going to make all these tracks just a bit smaller. Okay. Right, and make this Megan Black. I can make this, see this Megan Black track? That rhymes. I can make this as small as I want, really, because I've kind of done what I wanted to do with it. It's played, it's done with. Now, the timing in this is maybe a bit of a long time between the fade, okay, and the speech, but you would adjust that to your heart's content. I did that in the previous video. I'm not going to labour that point too much here. I'm going to zoom back out a little bit, Control 3. So, I think I said I'd bring in this bass. We'll bring in the Austin Miller track after this. So I'm going to bring this along. And you can actually see there's a wee yellow line that kind of lines the start of this track up with the end of this bit of audio, which is quite helpful, actually. What you could even consider doing, I wonder if it'll let me do this. yep, I can put these all on the same track. So I've just used the grabber tool or the moving tool and brought the Austin Miller tune down to the Megan Black tune. It just means that I can actually get rid of this track up here. And again, we've just got a little bit less going on in the screen, a little bit easier to see. And then you would just kind of rinse, lather, repeat with the other kind of 3 tracks. So just move them along. And the screen should move along with you, or maybe it's not. I'll zoom out. So again, I can use the moving tool, bring the audio back, and then again, just get rid of that track. There's not got any audio in it now, it's just a bit overwhelming to look at. Right, so hopefully that's been helpful. There will probably be more things that I'll go, I didn't talk about this, or I should have done this. I've been thinking about doing other kind of things like showing you how to use dynamic compression, but that'll be a bit more advanced. So, if you're struggling just now and you're maybe just getting through with it, ignore that. But if you're feeling confident, go for it. Cool.